Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really opening the vault on something quite unique. High finance meets high luxury.
And high-stakes lending, absolutely.
We're looking at Richard Mille watches. Now, these aren't just timepieces, are they? One source we looked at called them a veritable gold standard in pawn shop collateral.
That's really the heart of it. For certain clients, the ultra-high net worth individuals in places like London, Monaco, a Richard Mille isn't just worn on the wrist.
It's more than an accessory.
Exactly. It's a highly liquid, very portable asset. It's
Yeah.
become this kind of sophisticated financial tool.
Giving instant, discreet access to serious cash.
Precisely.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to unpack how this actually works. What makes these specific watches, these RM pieces, such a unique asset class?
Yeah, what are the mechanics behind it?
What models, what kind of extreme engineering quirks, and I suppose what market dynamics guarantee these, well, sometimes seven-figure loans, particularly in the UK's luxury pawnbroking scene, Mayfair, Knightsbridge, that sort of area.
Because RM is just synonymous with, cutting-edge watchmaking. Innovation, prestige.
And that unique position makes them superb collateral for these high-end lenders.
It really does. It's this perfect storm almost. You've got predictable auction results, verifiable rarity, impossible to fake tech.
Right.
That's what the brokers are banking on, essentially. Their risk is calculated.
Okay, let's dig into that predictability then. Why are these treated so differently? I mean, compared to, say, a very expensive diamond necklace or even a classic Ferrari, when someone needs cash fast.
Why does the RM stand out as collateral?
Yeah, what makes it ideal?
It boils down to risk management for the lender. Pure and simple. Richard Mille exists at this peak of, rarity combined with consistent documented auction demand.
So the demand is proven time and again.
Absolutely. Pawnbrokers can advance really significant sums because they know, almost with certainty, if that loan defaults.
They can shift the asset quickly.
Exactly. They can liquidate it fast at a predictable price globally. The market's deep, supply is tight, there's very little price decay,
Okay, but wait a second. Pawning often brings to mind, pretty high interest rates. Our sources mention fixed rates, maybe 3% to 6% monthly.
Yeah, that's the typical range for this level.
So how can that be a strategic financial move? Isn't traditional bank finance much cheaper?
That's a fair question. And yes, the rate is higher. But you're paying that premium for three specific things: speed, complete discretion, and zero personal liability beyond the watch itself.
Okay, explain that.
Well, think about getting a £1 million bank loan. It takes weeks, maybe months, credit checks, personal guarantees, endless paperwork. Your financial life is suddenly an open book.
Right.
Pawning an RM like this, it can happen in 24 hours. No credit check needed. If the worst happens, you forfeit the watch. That's it. No hit to your credit rating, no further obligations.
So it's for very specific situations. Short-term, high-speed cash needs where privacy and immediacy are worth the extra cost.
Precisely. When confidentiality and speed trump the interest rate cost.
And the amount you can actually borrow hinges heavily on the paperwork, doesn't it? The documentation.
Oh, absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Documented ownership, the original box, the certificate of authenticity, the COA. Having all that in perfect order can seriously boost the loan offer.
By how much, roughly?
Sometimes, 10, maybe 15% more. Brokers need that provenance. It reduces their risk profile dramatically.
And limited editions or pieces with a known cultural connection, they're even better.
They're gold dust. Because that documented story, that rarity, makes the resale even more certain for the broker if it comes to that.
Okay, let's shift gears from the finance side to the watches themselves, because these aren't just pricey, they're serious engineering marvels. Hyperlight, incredible tolerances.
Truly cutting-edge material science in many cases.
We have to start with the really big hitters, the seven-figure pieces, the ones that are, titans of collateral.
And that leads us directly to the RM056 Sapphire Tourbillon. This is, it's probably the ultimate statement piece in terms of horological innovation.
The sources describe the case as being carved almost entirely from solid sapphire crystal. I mean, what kind of technology does that even take? And how does that difficulty translate to loan value?
Right, the manufacturing process is the value proposition here in a way. Sapphire is incredibly hard, second only to diamond.
Okay.
So machining a complex watch case from a solid block, it takes literally thousands of hours. And it's brittle, so the failure rate during production is apparently astronomical.
Wow.
This extreme difficulty naturally limits production. They simply can't churn them out. That manufacturing hurdle guarantees scarcity.
Which supports that huge secondary market value up to 2.5 million pounds, the sources say.
Exactly. And that stability makes it an A-plus asset for a pawnbroker. They see the technical feat, the transparent case, the floating movement, as a kind of physical guarantee of enduring value. It's visually stunning, yes, but the rarity is the financial bedrock.
It's just amazing. The idea someone needs a quick £1,000,000 and basically their cash machine is strapped to their wrist.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually. Okay, so moving from transparency to the world of elite sport, the RM027 Tourbillon Rafael Nadal series.
Ah, yes, the Nadal connection, famed for being ridiculously light enough for him to actually wear playing tennis.
Correct, which is incredible marketing, but also proof of the engineering.
So what makes it a blue-chip pawn item in financial terms?
The blue chip here means reliable, holds value steadily, like a top-tier stock.
Right.
Low risk for the lender.
Got it.
The RM027 uses these advanced ultralight materials, carbon nanotubes, grade 5 titanium. The fact that it survives Nadal's full-force rallies is testament to its build quality.
And that translates to value.
Directly. The secondary market often sees these fetch over £1,000,000. Its durability, combined with the Nadal Association, guarantees global collector interest. It's a known quantity.
And then for something completely different, visually at least, the RM052 skull, that one is pure bold statement.
It really is. The skull is fascinating because it merges high-end watchmaking with this really striking, almost visceral art piece.
And the skull isn't just decoration.
No, that's the genius of it. The titanium skull structure actually forms the base plate and bridges for the movement. The art is the mechanics.
Incredible. And rare.
Very. Only 15 made initially. Today you're looking at well over 550,000 pounds, often quite a bit more. And crucially, for a pawnbroker, that strong artistic appeal broadens its market.
How so?
It's not just watch collectors who want it. Art collectors are interested too. That diversification means it's easier to liquidate quickly, even if, say, the high-end watch market has a temporary blip.
That makes total sense. Spreads the risk, widens the buyer pool, which brings us nicely to this whole idea of cultural cachet, celebrity, and how that impacts collateral value.
Yeah, the story behind the watch is often as important as the watch itself.
The Nadal line, for example, keeps evolving. There's the baby Nadal, the RM035. Still very expensive, mind you, up to maybe 370,000 pounds.
Still serious money. But then you have the newer RM3503 automatic Nadal. That one's pushing towards 750,000 pounds. And it's got something that's become a real talking point in the pawn industry.
The butterfly rotor, right. What exactly is that, and why does it excite lenders?
So the butterfly rotor is this clever mechanism. It lets the owner actually adjust how efficiently the watch winds itself. You can basically change the rotor geometry, speed it up, slow it down, or even disengage the automatic winding entirely.
Okay, clever tech.
Very. And for a broker, it signals that the watch isn't just rare or celebrity-linked, it's technologically ahead. It's got this unique, patentable feature.
Future-proofing the value, almost.
Exactly. That blend, the Nadal's fame plus genuinely groundbreaking tech, assures them a watch will hold its edge. And that means better loan offers, especially for clients who appreciate that technical aspect.
Beyond sports stars, Richard Mille has these amazing artistic collaborations, too. Pieces that become what the sources call elite collateral. Let's talk about the RM057 Jackie Chan Dragon.
Oh, that's a stunning piece. And a perfect example of understanding the global market. Only 36 were made.
What makes it special?
It has this incredible hand-engraved golden dragon that seems to wrap around the movement, all set against a black onyx baseplate.
Symbolism matters there, I imagine.
Hugely. The dragon represents power, the onyx equilibrium. It resonates strongly, especially with collectors in Asian markets. Values start around 750,000 pounds, but can easily go past 1.2 million. That's elite collateral, absolutely tailored to a specific, wealthy collector base.
And there's a counterpart aimed more at female collectors, the RM051 Michelle Ye Phoenix.
Yes, even rare, only 18 exist. Diamond set gold featuring phoenix symbolism. It taps into that very high-end female watch aficionado market. Again, a global draw, securing valuations north of 650,000 pounds. A key piece for certain clients needing discreet finance.
Then you get collaborations that are almost otherworldly. The RM018 meteorite Boucheron uses actual meteorite.
Real chondrite meteorite, integrated into the movement. The material science is just wild.
And the value reflects that.
Definitely. 800,000 pounds, up to 1.3 million pounds.
Ugh.
What's really interesting here, something our source pointed out, is about authenticity.
Go on.
Because meteorite is fragile, and inherently imperfect, apparently nearly all the original RM08s have some tiny flaw or blemish from the material itself.
And that doesn't hurt the value.
Quite the opposite. Because these tiny imperfections are known, documented features of the originals, they actually help confirm authenticity. It's a flaw that paradoxically underpins its stratospheric value.
That's fascinating. A flaw is a feature. Okay, let's touch on one more before we move on. A watch known maybe more for its notoriety. The RM69 Erotic Tourbillon.
The RM69, yes, it's definitely provocative. It has this complex mechanism, a message complication, that rotates different risque phrases onto the dial.
Not exactly subtle.
Not at all, but it's valued for both the mechanical ingenuity and that sheer audacity. There's an active subculture of collectors who love it because it's notorious, a conversation starter.
And that translates to pawn value.
It does. That notoriety guarantees interest and keeps auction prices consistently high, often well over £800,000.
Okay, so underpinning this whole system, these multi-million-pound watches being used for quick loans, is the pawnbroking ecosystem itself. And we're not talking about your average high street shop here, are we?
No, absolutely not. This is a highly specialized, secure, and very professional service operating at the luxury end of the market.
What does that process actually look like for someone pawning, say, an RM056?
Well, it's sophisticated. Leading shops, the kind you find on New Bond Street, for instance, don't just glance at the certificate. They perform rigorous, up-to-date valuations.
Based on what?
They track real-time data from major auction houses, Sotheby's, Christie's, Bonhams. They need to know the current market sentiment to value the piece accurately.
And verifying it's actually real, with materials like sapphire, meteorite. How do they do that?
It goes way beyond just paperwork. They often have in-house horologists, watch experts. They might use things like thermal imaging, spectroscopy, basically material analysis tools to check the alloys, the sapphire structure, everything.
Really scientific.
Absolutely. For something like an RM056, they need to be certain that sapphire is what it claims to be. This deep verification minimizes the broker's risk and, importantly, usually allows them to offer the maximum possible loan to the client against that asset.
And once it's verified and loan is agreed, what about security? We're talking about items worth millions.
Security is obviously paramount. These watches are stored in custom-built, high-security vaults. Think bank-level or even Diamond District-level security. Fully insured, of course.
And the terms?
The interest rates, typically that 3% to 6% monthly range we mentioned, are fixed and agreed up front. Total transparency. And the key draw remains speed and discretion. Confidentiality is absolute. Payment is fast, often same-day wire transfers, or within 24 hours. That's the service proposition.
It's interesting, too, looking at the people who built this modern luxury pawnbroking industry in the UK. Figures like David Sonnenthal, founder of New Bond Street Pawnbrokers. His background isn't what you might expect.
No, it's quite unique. He played a really significant role in changing the perception of pawnbroking, moving it away from any kind of shady image towards being seen as a legitimate, sophisticated financial service.
Many people might know him from TV, right? Like Channel 4's Four Rooms.
Yes, he was the resident dealer on that show for a long time. But what's really fascinating is his earlier career. He was a professional actor and comedian. He actually won the Perrier Award back in 1996.
An award-winning performer turned leading luxury pawnbroker. That says something about the shift in the industry, doesn't it? The credibility needed now.
It really does. He helped professionalize the image. Today, this sector is run by highly respected figures. They operate with the transparency, speed, and crucially, the confidentiality that their high-net-worth clients demand above all else.
So wrapping this all up, what's the key takeaway for you listening to this deep dive? We've seen Richard Mille watches aren't just watches, they're this incredible fusion.
On one hand, you have extreme technical innovation. Those sapphire cases, butterfly rotors, hyperlight material, just pushing the boundaries of what's possible in watchmaking.
And on the other hand, you have this immense cultural power. The cachet that comes from associations with global icons like Nadal, Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh.
And that blend, that combination, is what guarantees their value holds so remarkably steady. It makes pawning one not an act of desperation, but often a very calculated strategic move.
A way to get swift, discreet access to significant capital when needed.
Exactly.
Which leads us to a final thought, really. When a luxury item becomes this reliable as collateral, is owning a Richard Mille fundamentally about telling the time anymore? Or is it really about possessing a unique kind of non-traditional financial instrument?
A portable, high-value asset that operates outside the usual banking system's checks and balances.
It's pretty unique. Can you think of any other single luxury item that functions quite like this? As such reliable, instantly liquid, high-value collateral that you can, just wear on your wrist.
It's certainly in a class of its own in many ways.
Something to think about, perhaps, the next time you happen to see one of those incredible, intricate machines out in the world.